Hello, everybody out there.
Hi, everybody. So we are live here today. We'll talk about a great topic. Time is money. Hi, my name is Irwin Dayan for Hedaya Capital. We're just a little plug for us. We're a finance company that helps you move your goods and services around the world. Today, we'll be talking with our good friends at presenting basically this show at RCS, Norman Dwek and Jeffery Tebele, good friends of mine, and the go-to people to learn about how to take technology and bring it into your business world for efficiency. So today's topic will be time is money, how to get more efficiency out of the software tools and programs that are out there. So just as a little prelude, and talking to Jeff and Norman over the last couple of weeks in preparing for this, we said that could you be over tech? Could you be overstuffed or over apped or over anything in the world of tech? So today we're going to start with a myriad of topics, throwing the ball to Norman and Jeff. Hey. It could be about accounting or finance or marketing, project management, work from home, so many different variables in today's world. So we're just going to start the ball rolling. Norm or Jeff, you want to start it off, and then we'll go from there. One point. It is. I'm going to let them talk. Don't worry. It is interactive. So we shoot you questions, and we'll get it into the mix. So go ahead, guys. You're on.
Thanks, Irwin. Thanks for helping us put this together. Really, really appreciate it. And you brought a lot of people, so that's always awesome. We're here at our office on 800 3rd Avenue. Norman Dwek and myself have been putting these webinars together, and we'll be doing them regularly. So we're excited to have you, but this one's a little bit different than what we normally talk about. But we have a bunch of applications that we use in our business that really just are awesome and help save us time. And as we said, time is money, right? There's like Irwin mentioned, different areas, building, finance, customer interactions, surveys, right? There's tons and tons of stuff here, right?
Hang on a second. What is our business?
Our business, we're IT managed service provider, RCS Professional Services. We've been in business for 21 years, and we service small businesses all across the country, helping them leverage technology in their business so that they could grow and scale.
All right, awesome. And Reggie, yeah, Esther chose that tune, and I love it. I was actually like dancing around during the countdown. I'm up dancing around to that music.
Yeah. We're gonna change it up. We're gonna put fish next time.
Okay, so let's take one topic and let's dig into it. Let's talk about one software thing, wherever you want to go, accounting. Or let's do a general one. How do we get things going? How do we manage our day that we're not over tech?
Okay, so this is we kind of didn't want to concentrate on the big ones that everyone knows, but just to get this started as far as, okay, I've got a business and I need just the basics like office software and where am I going to hold my files and stuff of that sort. For that, you've got your Microsoft and Googles of the world. Microsoft, Google both have office software. It's all you can, even with Microsoft, I don't know if you know this, but you can use all of their softwares online. You don't actually have to have them installed on your computer. And you can collaborate on them. So right before this, as we were leading up to this webinar, we were both on a document together, doing all of the editing of the document. Basically, we're looking at a bunch of stuff here. And so as far as Office apps, email, file storage, the guys like Microsoft with their Microsoft 365 offering, Google with their Google Workspace, things like Dropbox and Box for cloud file hosting. Those are the
Core.
the core.
You have to have it, right?
Yes.
Like that we're not going to go over that
Right.
so much because we've been through it. But yeah, you got your chat, your Teams, your Hangouts, your calendars, your invites, all your documents all in one place. So I think that, Irwin, is the base, right? Everyone has to have that. Most companies do.
Okay.
So I would say that. But we wanted to touch on a lot of the other cool stuff around the perimeter over there. I don't know which area. Do you want to pick an area? Finance, marketing, HR? You tell it. We could share like endlessly. I feel like this webinar
Right.
could go for hours.
I,
We're not going to do that to you.
right. So
Hey, June.
I'd like to
Hi,
talk.
hello.
I'd like to talk about one thing. I mean, I'd start because it's a couple of things that I've used over my journey. So like HubSpot,
Yeah.
just as an example, at one time the organization I was with prior to Hedaya, we were trying to get like a system to put in place, and everybody came from left field with all these crazy amounts of money and design in 3 months of systems, and then one of the girls in the office said, Earl, we should try HubSpot. It's pretty free or a small amount of money. And she showed us the system. She made a presentation to the board, and it was awesome. And we used it. So
That's
now
awesome.
the whole thing I'm asking you is, because you guys are the pros to the people out there, is how do you direct yourself to go find these systems that are effective tools so you don't lose time that once you put them in place and they don't work, or they don't work for you, let's say?
That's a good question. I mean, I find that other than just Google searching and asking people, but the biggest place that we get these tips of where to go direction wise, I would say, is from industry associations. So we're part of peer groups. We go to trade shows and conferences. A lot of times you'll find stuff that's hits your vertical very nicely. So I think finding this stuff is always asking your network, obviously, ideally your network of other businesses that do what you do.
Right.
That's where we find the best tips, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Trade shows for sure. And yeah, you want to know what's going on as far as software in your industry. Find the trade show in your industry and go to it. You will get so much out of that.
And another thing like trade shows squared is basically like once you find something for your industry or anything, they generally have trade shows. So like, we sign up a client with NetSuite. I've been to the NetSuite trade show, which is an ERP system to help companies, with all sorts of things. But they have a trade show, and in that trade show, there's 400 other vendors that integrate with software. So integrations is a huge part. Like when we sign up for HubSpot, we integrate it with all sorts of software that we have, including this one right now.
Right. So that's another question from let's say a client, let's say as myself would be, how is the integration? Let's say you had a HubSpot and then you had a QuickBooks and then you had a DocuSign, or you had is this all a seamless trend, and does RCS put that together and then put it in the cloud, so if the world comes to an end, you can pick it up? In other words, take me into Star Wars.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, yes, it's very seamless if you take advantage of those integrations. So those are low-hanging fruits. Like the hard part is getting onto the platforms, right? Because you're doing your business, you're distracted, or you're focused on your customers, hopefully, or your vendors, or whatever your area of the business is. But getting these things implemented and integrated into your organization, forget about the rest of the apps, is kind of the hard part. So I think you touched on a very key point in the beginning, which is, can you overdo this?
Right.
Yes, you can overdo it, but I think the main thing is on the implementation side. We come back from a trade show or a conference, we're all amped up. There's 800 things that we want to implement like tomorrow, right? You just got to pick one. Whatever the biggest problem in your business is, whatever is the biggest, most inefficient, or whatever it is, whatever is the best use of your time. Because to integrate something like a HubSpot or an Asana, it's work, right? It's work that you have to devote from time in your day, everything else that you got on your plate. So I think the first thing, like you mentioned, Irwin, is, can you overdo it? Yes, you could overdo it, but specifically around implementation, I wouldn't try and do more than one of these things every quarter, if that.
Yeah, so this is actually going on right now for us in the VCIO account management team. We realized we needed a software just to basically keep track of the whole VCIO process. So we went looking for that. in looking for that, we realized there was something we needed as far as being able to track quotes and those conversations with whomever we were sending those quotes to, and that was actually a different service. So we've chosen one for the VCIO part of this, and we've actually chosen one for the CRM, the customer relation management part of this. We are not implementing them both together right now. It would be way too much to do them both right now. We're taking our time on the first one, which is the VCIO management. And then once we're in on that, then we're going to step over to HubSpot, where we're going to do our CRM.
Yeah, so we could talk about HubSpot for a little since you talked about it. I mean, we love HubSpot. We started it out as a marketing automation software. So, everything from sending out email campaigns, which you could go with a constant contact or, other things like that if you just want to send out emails en masse. A HubSpot is that's just one of the things it could do, right? All the marketing calendar, all the stuff that Esther does, this webinar, outreach, integrating our website, tracking clicks, tracking what's going on with our interaction with clients, or people that we're prospecting and marketing to and lead generation. So that whole thing, it does that. We love that. And we've had it for a couple of years, and now we're buying into more services. They're very good
at
introducing more feature set for you to sign up for. So, they have an awesome, powerful CRM. We have a CRM already. We use a product called ConnectWise, which is something that's catered to our IT business. But it's a little like the user interface is a little clumsy and slow for us. And like Norm mentioned, like we have a lot going on in account management, which is what we call VCIO, Virtual Chief Information Officer. So we're constantly interacting with clients, going over proposals, setting up meetings, coordinating meetings with vendors of theirs. We're trying to make their service experience as pleasant as possible. So not only core IT, but also making their experience great. And one of those things that you have to do is constantly interact with the client. So you got emails, you got calendar invites. HubSpot basically has the ability to, if you invest in their CRM, to communicate with all levels of the client very, very quickly and efficiently. It integrates with Office 365, with Gmail. It has a calendaring thing like Calendly, which I guess we'll talk about. But, the CRM thing is the next thing we want to bite into.
Right. And so just on the HubSpot, no, when we had it at the time, it was so easy to use.
Forget about it.
I mean, for me to master it was like, I could have been like a spokesperson for HubSpot. But the thing I wanted to ask you was two things. Number one, when RCS goes in, if someone doesn't have a clue and all these offerings, you could say, you could go from HubSpot to accounting to finance to HR to work from home you could blow someone's mind. Do you go in and do a diagnostic and say, hey, where are you in these spaces, and see that they're lacking a system in place, or how to make them more seamless or more productive? Like we're talking about time is money. Do you go in there with a plan and do that? Is that part of your gig?
So our core offering is like that baseline that we discussed in the beginning, that Microsoft Office 365, the Google G Suite, anything that's core around infrastructure, the Dropboxes, the boxes, Slack, Teams, all that base stuff. This perimeter stuff that we're talking about, I mean, we have a huge network that Esther's developed, and, we work with you guys and stuff like that. Yes. When it gets core into like building out something like a HubSpot, we generally, or a Xero or a QuickBooks, like we generally, go to a consultant that specifically just does that all day long, left and right.
Yeah, so what we will do is dig in on a company and basically see what they're trying to do, what their business goals are, see what they're trying to do as a company, to be successful. And from there, like he said, we can suggest various things that are in all these SaaS things. We can suggest them. And then if they are interested in something like that, that's exactly what we would do. We would bring in a consultant to pull that off.
Where we do fit in, I would say, is on the security and authentication component, because like Microsoft Office 365, the whole concept of one password and two-factor authentication, there's all sorts of apps out there, HubSpot, Shopify, Xero, QuickBooks. you want to be able to control that from a security perspective. We do get heavily involved in that, of being able to authenticate with one user account, one password, Microsoft Office. You know, you don't have to remember 1,600 passwords. You're secure. You know, I know people that have had Shopify accounts broken into, that they're sending themselves products off of, you know, so there's the whole concept of security, which you could look at our webinar history on our YouTube page or on our website. You know, we discussed the idea of being able to authenticate easily with two-factor authentication using one sign-on and one password. I think that's a key component that we do get involved in.
Yes, love single sign-on, best thing ever. It's easier for the user, and it's more secure as far as IT goes. But I want to take a step back for 1 second, because we've dived in on all of these various services, but haven't kind of explained what they are. So this is the whole concept of software as a service. And software as a service is, I'm not running these things on a server in my office, and I don't have to deal with backups and all that. These things all live in the cloud. So I need, say, a proposal software. Great. The HubSpot is, I can use HubSpot for proposals. I can use something like Proposify. I go to that website and I sign up, and now I can do like proposals on that website. Where is all that information kept? That information is all housed on those cloud services. So I don't have to think about something like, oh my God, if my servers die, I'm going to lose all of my information. No, everything's housed in the cloud. You can work from anywhere. Mobility, as far as, you know, being able to work from anywhere is great, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have to worry about my information getting lost or being deleted.
Yeah.
Great. So my other question is like this: how has COVID affected or enhanced the technology platforms that you're projecting? I'll give you like a case in point. At Hedaya, when we give out contracts, you know, to engage companies to finance, so we use DocuSign.
Right.
So years ago, you send the paperwork to the client, and they sign it, and they send it back, and it takes about a year till you get it back, and you get
it's a deal killer.
Yeah.
That's where deals go to die.
Right. So, and then the guy doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But the point is that are there, let's say, I'm trying to use the right word, COVID type things like DocuSign that came into play that are used as tools to save time and money and talent, putting admin on people to do stuff where you could click with a software and do it. Is there other DocuSign type things?
I could give you like tons of examples. I mean, one specifically that we changed during COVID is I love this product called Bill.com. I absolutely love it. It's basically integrates. We have Xero. A lot of people know QuickBooks. For those of you that don't know Xero, it's just a competing software. They're about equal. We decided to go with Xero because it integrates with our billing, our core operating system for our business. But in any event, I signed up for Bill.com. I don't know, it was $50, $70. You know, we started receiving payments from people on Bill.com. Wow. It could do a lot of things. But one thing that's super cool for me is during COVID, I had our accountant PDF me checks. Like, we still do have some checks that we pay people with. Ideally, we're doing ACH and credit card most of the time. But, you know, for like expense reimbursements or certain vendors or our 401k, they like the old-fashioned check. So what we're doing there is basically I signed up for Bill.com. It was $50, $70, hit a few buttons. It connected to my Xero. And immediately you could see all the invoices that you have open on your accounts payable. You know, I just click what I want to pay and it pays them. I don't have to deal with printing checks, which is super annoying. So you're talking about paper and DocuSign, like, yeah. So I mean, we all have signed DocuSigns lately, especially since March 2020. But I think like that was a huge one that I just love because finance rolls up to me and I'm the guy that signs checks. So I just log in. Literally takes me 5 seconds to pay people. All the work is done.
So I was in a conversation with a client, and it came out that they were printing out contracts, driving them a half hour to another guy's house that's in the company, having the guy sign it, and then sending it out. And I was like, wait, What? No. This is not happening anymore. Let me tell you, there was a lot of time saved when they signed up for either DocuSign or HelloSign. Oh my God, a ton of time
Even
saved.
if you don't have DocuSign, like there's basic things that are included with like Office 365 or Dropbox. You can scan a document from your phone. You just go into OneDrive, you hit new, you hit scan, you scan the documents, and you could also do a lot of things with paper just through these apps that you're already paying for.
And you mentioned COVID. COVID happened to have hit in the arc of computer services for the last, say, 50 years. COVID happened to have hit at a time where the computer industry was kind of ready for it.
Yeah.
All these SaaS things were around. All these things that live in the cloud were around. And when everything went into lockdown, it suddenly became this thing of, oh, actually, we can do business like this. We can do business, in this from disparate locations, from home, from wherever, if everything's living online. And the ability for things to live online was there, and it was just an explosion of SaaS stuff that you can do. I mean, there's something for everyone. Whatever business you're in, I guarantee there are a number of SaaS applications that can do the thing you need to do.
Right. So thank you for that. So another question I had was, and this is like, what you always want to manage your team, or the company wants to know what their talent is doing. So one of the things that Norman Jeff presented to me was the chat and collaboration, which is like, I love to chat and collaborate. So, but I see Slack, Teams, Google.
Right.
So could that become like is that the new office cooler in the sky? In other words, where they're just talking all day and no one knows what the hell's going on?
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, a lot of things come back to like culture of your company and values and your people. But for us, like we're on Teams like all day long.
Indispensable.
And we're also all over the place. I mean, we do have an office here. We have an office in Atlanta. A lot of people are face to face walking over the desks, but we're working. We're not like BSing. Everyone. I feel like there's more knowing of what's going on with that stuff. I mean, we have meetings all day, and even with clients, the whole COVID thing and Teams and Zoom having become so acceptable for doing business.
Right.
Our efficiency is just driven, just the adoption and the acceptance piece of it, where we don't have to go to people's offices to meet with them and them accepting that. I mean, we've definitely added back hours in our week. I mean, there is no question about that. For the account management meetings that Norman used to have, we used to literally, before March 2020, we would go to every single client's office and meet with them. We're talking about meeting about 60 to 70 clients every quarter. And we met them in person. And now we're doing twice as much with the fact that it's on Teams and we're able to do it with video. And I feel like if anything, it's gotten better, not worse.
Yeah, as far as like knowing what's going on across the company, we were sharing so much more information with each other. There's so much crossover as far as who's doing what and who knows what about what's going on in the company. Is so much shared information. It's much better than it was. I mean, the way it used to be is you kind of could work in a silo and not realize anything. But now with things like Teams, with chat, my God, there's tons of stuff going back and forth.
You do touch on something good. There's some, and not maybe the users out there won't love this, but the managers and owners may. There are like software where, again, and we've spoken about company issued hardware and security concerns around that. That's a whole nother webinar that you can look up on our YouTube or on our website. But some owners have us load basically a little piece of software on each of the not the employees' computers, but the company's computers, and they get all analytics and reports, high level KPIs of what people are actually doing, where they're spending most of their day, what websites, what applications. So the fact that we're all over the place, you could still have great control over visibility on what your employees are doing, if anything, more now than ever. We use a program called Active Track at a lot of the clients. There's
I was going to mention that. I saw that on the list Norman gave me. Yeah. So what is Active Track in a nutshell?
In a nutshell,
it's monitoring software. Essentially, it's just monitoring software. It sits on a computer and it monitors everything going on, like things like what idle time on it, what apps were being used, what web pages were being visited, what was being typed in on emails, everything you could think of that's going on a computer, it's monitoring all of that.
And it gives high-level KPI to the owners. Like, you know, it'll say this user was on Facebook for 2 hours out of the workday, or they weren't even at their computer for 4 hours. You know, so just things that you would want to know. Websites they're on, what applications are they mostly in Outlook all day? Are they on Shopify? You know, whatever it may be.
Okay. A question I had, because a lot of the clients in my world, the companies that we finance, a big thing was, like you said, you're going to your clients. They will go into buyers. They will go into Walmart or Costco or Target, whoever it may be. Now, a lot of them are getting very creative in setting up their showrooms and then putting electronic gear, screens, tablets, whatever, and to make it like the buyer's right there or the buyer's doing that. Are there any tools out there that could make it lifelike in a presentation?
I mean, look, the hardware, Logitech, and I know we're talking about software here, but hardware comes into play, right? Logitech is a company that Norman said, was ready for the pandemic. They spent the last, I don't know how many years ago, investing and developing video conferencing products, camera products, audio products. You know, when you tricked out a video conference for a boardroom 7 years ago, 5 years ago, you could have easily spent $100,000, $200,000. A lot of these, you know, boardrooms, Bank of America, this bank,
they had. I remember those big Cisco systems that cost hundreds.
Cisco telepresence, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Logitech basically said, we're going to go after this thing and we're going to go after it big. They basically made, you know, microphone systems, speaker bars, and cameras, all for a few grand, for equally
at all levels of room. Like they have cameras for big rooms, they have cameras for small rooms, they have cameras for I'm in a big room, that guy's in a small room, microphones to go along with it, controls to control all of this. Yeah, they went hard into this, and really they've built a great offering in this.
So they were ready for that. Even for a lot of the wholesale clients in your industry, like we give them a lot of wholesalers have like multiple showrooms. They'll have like the baby showroom, the grown up, you know, whatever it is.
Right.
So we give them like a computer cart if they don't want to like invest in one, you know, investment in each room, and they just wheel the cart around and they're able to use it and show the products on the cameras. So yeah. That was a huge
and the
thing.
cart has all the video conferencing stuff on it. It's got a computer on there. It's got a big screen. It's got the camera. It's got the microphone. They roll it up to wherever they want to show product, and they're right there with whomever's on the other end.
It's been huge for us.
Okay, so we discussed, you know, some of the document, the Bill.com, the HubSpot, a lot of the Dropbox, the ActiveTrack. I wanted it to sort of like bring it around and say, the project management stuff. So now that to me is always the bottom line is performance driven. So could you talk about some of these things like you had Monday, Asana, Basecamp, Trello, you know, some of the stuff?
So we saw the need for this project management. One of our pieces of software does project management, not quite to the level we need. So like we're telling you guys to do, we turned around and looked for a SaaS application that's a cloud application that lives on the web. And we now are entrenched in Asana. We love using it. It can keep track of multiple projects, who needs to do what the tasks are in the project, how that project's running along, who needs to do what tasks on whatever project, messaging within the system if there's an issue that you run into. As far as your task on the project, it manages projects from A to Z. And guys like Monday and Trello, I think, and Basecamp, all these guys are doing that sort of huge project management. It's great.
Yeah, we mentioned in the beginning, like, you know, picking one of these a quarter and implementing it. You know, you can't just tell someone, you know, we bought HubSpot, go figure it out, right? Exactly. It's like
that's why they call RCS.
You know, you want to lay out like the major milestones, like, you know, dates, you know, what we want to accomplish first. We want to start the marketing first. We want to start the CRM first, right? And then specifically, like, you know, let's say we implemented Xero in accounting or Bill.com. ultimately we want to do it to drive efficiency and do more with less, right? When are we going to automate collections, so that it's nagging customers to pay us? When are we going to automate, sending invoices out so that we don't have to have people spend the time doing it? Say all those things that are on your wish list and laying out the project, like putting that in project management software is huge. Let's say you're moving an office, there's 800 things that you have to, you have to change your mailing address on your invoices. We have to order furniture. We have to order internet. Laying out all those things and assigning them to people in the organization is huge. Asana's helped us in a big way, both for project delivery to our clients and for internal initiatives.
Yeah, so the way that happened with Asana for us was it just started with some meetings to see what was going on in project delivery and project management. And from those meetings, we started to realize, okay, there's a whole bunch of tasks, a whole bunch of things that we need to keep track of in projects. And from there, we started looking at what we had and then seeing, I don't think this does quite what we need it to do. And so we came up with a bunch of things, basically features that we needed a software to do, and started looking for a piece of software to do this. We looked at a bunch of them, tried them out. Once we decided on one, it was okay. And so yeah, this is definitely a thing in all of these things. You're not going to implement the whole thing at once. You will implement the small part of it, and then you'll implement the next small part of it, and the next small part of it. And that's basically what we've done with Asana, which is we got in there and then expanded our usage of it over time as we got better and better at using it. And it's been great for us. The
guys love it. The project engineers, the people actually have to, hold themselves accountable to doing quality work. It's just super easy from them. They do it for them from their app. They check a box. This is done. That's done. It's like the time. The reason why we switched is because the other one was too cumbersome and the user interface was just too much to even put the data in. So I think, like you mentioned, HubSpot, when you got it, super easy. It's so intuitive, so quick. That's so key to so many of these awesome products that have come out, in this era of cloud computing. Like just the ease of use is huge.
How are we doing with comments out there and questions?
Yeah, let's go. It's time for that. Yeah. What do we got? Great question.
You need new glasses, Irwin.
What tools is everyone using? What tools? I only see this here. What tools and software is everyone using? Let us know.
Let's see. I'm looking at Dave. He's got how much is too much with automations for outreach and basic repeatable client prospect engagement.
I mean, if it's done right, I don't think you could have too much.
I don't know if there's too much. Yeah, you just identify the things you need to get done and then have those tools do those things.
Right. So we talked about automating collections. What about automating outreach on proposals that you've sent out? Hey, what's the story? Do you want to sign up for this? Do you want this product? Do you want this deal? All that can be automated. And that's one of the things I'm really excited to leverage HubSpot for.
That's when I said before that we're using our VCIO software and we're going to use HubSpot, that's what we're getting to HubSpot for. We're actually, I can't wait to get done with the first one so we can get HubSpot going. It's going to be great.
She spends all day just like outreaching to clients on existing things.
And we can automate that. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is out there. Any other questions on the board you see there? And thank you very much for joining.
His eyes are better than mine.
Yeah,
I don't know where my pointer is.
You see anything else out there?
Let's see. Hey, John, how's it going out there? Allison, I'm hoping you hear us now. I haven't seen anybody else have a problem with that, so let's hope that's not a problem. What's going on, Michael Madelon? How you doing?
Hey, Michael.
Michael, what's happening? All right, so
let's keep going.
So listen. At this point, I'd like to just get your heads up on what we talked about during the show, and just tips for the trade. What you would say to the people out there, and then let's go from there.
I mean, for us, it's like you mentioned, Don't like come back with too much and try and implement all at once. Do one thing at a time. And then like Norm mentioned, continual improvement. That's definitely one of our core values. Constantly try and improve it once you're in the platform, and don't try and take too much on at once. So even if it means not only picking one thing to do at a time, but in that one thing to do at a time, start small, go with that, and then grow from there. So there's all sorts of things we discussed.
And get buy-in.
And get buy-in from your people, for sure.
That's important. If
Yeah.
you don't have buy-in from the people, if they weren't involved in the decision, then this may not go all that well for you.
For sure. So don't just stick it down, ram it down their throats.
Correct.
You think it's a good idea. You got to get buy-in from the people that are actually using it. So that's one thing that we evolved nicely on is involving the people who are actually going to use this stuff. But we mentioned billing and finance. We have Xero, QuickBooks, Bill.com, all that stuff. We mentioned documents. You got your DocuSigns of the world, even help desk. A lot of clients do customer service. You got your Zendesks and stuff like that, where just
Happy Fox,
yeah. Even HubSpot.
I think we have a client using Happy Fox.
Yeah, we do. Digital gadgets. Yo,
that's right.
Project management. We got Asana. We got Monday. What else?
I'm trying to think of all the things we use. Yeah. I think of them now. We use so many. We have a documentation platform. We have a platform to do diagrams. We use Lucid Charts.
Oh, Lucid Charts. We love Lucid Charts. Process flow, org charts, all that stuff. Simple, easy. Visio was just, Visio got a little better, but to just make a Visio diagram for me was torture. Once we got Lucid Charts, it was so much easier.
And it all lives in the cloud. And so our documentation system is linked to that diagram. Our documentation system is IT Glue, and it's linked to Lucid Charts. So those two things are living together because, for us, that's what Lucid Charts is about. It's about documentation for us.
Yeah. So we got HubSpot events. We do a lot of events like this one, virtual, in person. Esther's all about,
Yeah, no, time out. I got to say, without Esther, this show's not on.
That's true. Absolutely.
She's behind the scenes, but the truth, without Esther, this thing is not happening.
Yeah. Even this LinkedIn Live thing, which she introduced into our firm, it's awesome. Esther, awesome.
Yes, awesome. And as far as tools go, Esther was the one who shopped around the various tools and came upon this one, which again is cloud-based because
so we're doing this.
There's something for everyone out there.
Yeah, we're doing this on StreamYard, which integrates with LinkedIn Live. This thing's
LinkedIn
awesome.
Live, YouTube Live. Are you kidding? The whole live spectrum. It works.
Maybe the next shot we do about live broadcasting and how to do it and how to show it and on site and I like
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Okay.
So how about social media management? I haven't used these, but
let's do the next one. Live stream to the world. What you do.
I'm down.
That. All right. So I think at this point we covered really almost everything that I thought it would take a month. We hit on everything. So that's phenomenal.
This could go on for days. We don't want to take up much of your time, but
we'll definitely continue. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. I thought we hit every bullet point that we wanted to hit. Again, Jeff and Norman, thanks for giving me the opportunity to make it like I have a clue of what's going on. And you guys really were phenomenal. I think everybody out there, please reach out to myself. If there's any questions about the world we do, for sure, RCS, Jeff and Norman and Esther, thank you for giving me the shot and teaching me how to save time and money, how to make money and save time.
We got a few more things coming up. What do we have coming up?
Okay, so we've got another LinkedIn Live, how to strategically onboard, train, and manage and terminate your employees. That one's coming in late June.
We didn't even talk about HR. There's so many.
There's so many. We didn't talk about HR.
Oh, you know what? So
calendars,
make the menu.
Appointments with people. We didn't talk about any of that.
Yeah.
So make the menu and let's bucket it in. And if you need me to come in and ride shotgun, I'm there.
You got to do it here next time. No more work from home for you, man.
I'm coming to you the next time. You got it. All right.
So yes, that's the end of June. The how to strategically onboard, train, and manage and terminate your employees. And then coming in July. This is the one I'm super excited about because this one is Birds of a Feather coming back. All you fish fans out there, we are going to be talking fish and business, and I'm psyched about it. I'm psyched the summer tour. That's right. So yeah, I'm totally psyched
I'm
about
actually
that
going
one.
to Charleston in a couple of weeks. I'm amped up.
Oh,
I just bought my tickets yesterday.
Sick. That's awesome.
All right.
I'm looking forward to Bethel.
Yeah. So
Fish
visit our
fans, it's coming.
website, rcsprofessional.com.
You can register for both of those now. They are live as far as registration goes on
Okay.
LinkedIn.
What's your website, Irwin, if they want to know more about you?
It's right on the bottom there, but it's hedayacapital.com. And you could just reach me at id@hedayacapital. And
let me tell you, if you need money for your business to grow and fund your customers, your orders, and Irwin does great work in the wholesale and even e-commerce now, right? Are you guys?
Oh yeah, we're killing it with e-com and DTC and hybrid and omni-channel. Anything to do with moving goods around the world in any way, in the sky, in the storefront, anywhere you're moving goods, we're there to help you finance it.
Yeah, money, right? Nothing happens without money.
Right. All right, guys. Have a great day, Jeffrey.
Thanks you guys.
I love you. Thanks.
Thanks everybody out there.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. And on the next show, I'll be in that.
Yeah, we want you right here.